Good morning, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm, coming to you on a really chilly February day. I think we're February 13th, and it's cold out here by Missouri standards, not Minnesota standards, but by Missouri, it's chilly. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of give an update on our shiitake logs. We've got about 620 right here in these three piles. These are all brand new logs we just cut, and we've got, this is a little bit more than half of them, so there's probably another 400 in the woods. So we're going to be inoculating close to 1,000 logs here in the next couple weeks. We've already got the spawn. We bought the spawn. We like Field and Forest. That's where we get our spawn out of Wisconsin. They do a pretty good job, and of course, the more bags of spawn you buy, the cheaper it is. If you buy, I think it's over 11 bags, it drops down to like $16 or $17 a bag. That's for 5.5 pounds. And a 5.5 pound bag of spawn will inoculate around 40 to 45 logs, as long as they're not great big logs. These are the size I like. These range from about 3 inches up to, all the biggest ones in here might go 6 or 7 inches. We try and stay away from the great big logs because they're just heavier to handle. You don't get that many more mushrooms from a big log than you do, say, this log right here. That's a perfect log. It's about 4 inches, 4 to 5 inches. But even these little ones, I mean, there's a whole pile of little ones there. They're probably, well, that smallest one there, it's probably only 2 inches across. But it'll grow a lot of mushrooms. It just won't last as long as these bigger logs will. We've got mushroom logs that are still producing after 7 years. I'll show them to you in a minute. They look like heck. They've just rotted down to nothing. Matter of fact, we put them in a pile over here. I'm just going to discard them into the garden for the fungi. And the darn things, they started producing again. They weren't ready. They weren't done. So we got them down here in the shade. Of course, this is where when we get done inoculating them, this is our inoculating table right here. So we have our high-speed grinder with the special bit that we buy. And the special bit you want to get is a 12 millimeter, not the big one. It's a smaller bit, the 12 millimeter. And we put that on our high-speed grinder. And they have an adapter head that they sell, that Field and Forest, that goes on a grinder. Gosh, it makes it a breeze. As fast as you can touch this, you've got holes in there, and it's got a stop on it. And this is on a turntable. See, it's got, you can turn it on both ends, and then when you're done with it, you just set the log up here, push it down to the next station. If you do a good job, it doesn't fall off like that one did. We usually have this whole table just full. I mean, there'll be like 30, 40 logs on here already drilled. And then the people down here on this end, of course, it's already been drilled. They set it up here on this set of turntables, and here's their bucket. It's full of spawn. And over on this side, we have a table that has the electric skillet with wax in it. I like wax. I bought one of the guns that put these nylon, neoprene foam caps in. And I don't know. I think the judgment's still out on them. I think the wax just does a better job of sealing. That's my own personal opinion. But we built this table, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago. It's all made out of cedar. We never take it down. It just stays right here all the time. And those darn boards, it hasn't even tried to rot. I mean, it's all cedar heartwood. And so we just leave it set up right here. And logs go over there. If they get inoculated, we stack them over here. And then we put a cheesecloth over the top of them to keep the woodpeckers from working on them. These are some we did last year, and the woodpeckers are kind of picking on them a little bit. Not too bad. You can see right there, woodpecker. Yeah, right there, a little woodpecker damage on the side of that one. you're going to have some woodpecker damage. But once the mycelium that you put in here, the spawn, goes into the log at about the 7-month level, you want to keep that black cheesecloth like stuff. We buy it. I think we got a piece down. It's like 100 feet long. It's like 12 feet wide, and it'll go over this whole stack. I mean, we're going to have a stack of logs here. It's going to be, well, it's going to be as tall as those. That's over 6 feet tall, and it's probably going to be, shoot, how do we get 1,000 in here? It may be 20 feet long, the pile. But we do log cabin style like that, and so when they get inoculated, they're going to be put back just like that. And then when they're covered to keep the woodpeckers from chewing on them. Once the mycelium gets migrated through the log, the woodpeckers can pick on it then, it's not going to bother it. But for that first 7 months, you want to keep those logs covered, because those woodpeckers will go in there and clean out every hole that you drilled, and they'll clean out the spawn before it has a chance to take up residence in your log. I love these trees. These are all black oak. There's maybe 1 or 2, 3 logs in here that are white oak, not very many. But black oak, see all this right here? That's where the mushrooms live, is in that, not in that. So the more heartwood you have in them, that's just, you're packing weight around for nothing. You're not going to get anything out of that, other than a lot of weight. You got to pack that stuff around. So we would a lot rather stay with the 4 to 6 inch, or 3 to 6 inch. Maybe 7, but boy, 8 inch, you're talking about 80 to 100 pounds. And we cut all of our logs 4 to 5 feet long. And if you've got an 8 or 9 inch diameter log, that log green is going to weigh 120 pounds. Do you want to be picking up a 120 pound log times 1,000? 1,000 logs? I don't think so. So that's what we got going on here. And we'll have a inoculating party. And we're going to do it on a day that's not like today. It's just too darn cold out here. But, we'll get some 50s here coming up. And 50-degree days are beautiful inoculating weather. And these mushrooms logs here, they'll start cranking out this spring. We've got 2 rows here, and then we've had another 2 rows down on the other bed. We've got over 2,000 logs inoculated. And so we're going to jump it up another 1,000 logs this spring. Well, you can see them all out here. There's rows and rows. Oh, I was going to show you what an old one looked like. So these are 7 years old. I mean, look at those logs. Do they look decrepit or what? I mean, they don't look like they'd ever grow a mushroom. But I promise you, this spring, there's some more of them right there. We don't throw them away anymore. We stack them up like this, and you'll get probably over a summer's period, you may get 75, 80 mushrooms just off of these 2 old, what looks like defunct looking mushroom logs. I just saw something down in there. Look at that. I may have to move that along. That's a little pine tree. Huh. It's got to be a white pine that came off our big white pines up there. I'll be darned. I'll have to dig that up and replant it somewhere where it can grow. I like white pines. I don't like them in my pasture because they kill out the soil, but they do make a good ornamental. They knock down the wind and they grow fast, but they don't die after 20 years. A Scotch pine, you plant a Scotch pine, it's only good for 15 to 20 years. It's dead. It just dies. Those white pines up there, those were put in 1991. So this is 2022. So do the math. They've been there a while. They say those things will live to be like 150 years old. So I don't know. I'm not going to be around in 150 years to tell you that. If you plant a pine tree, plant one that's going to live a while. Don't plant a Scotch pine. Scotch pines make a good Christmas tree to put in if you want a Christmas tree, but they sure don't make good trees long term. So if you're going to go through that work, plant one that'll be there. Yeah, we're gonna have some serious mushroom party going on here. This is about a little over half. It's probably 60% of what we've got cut. So we still got some work to do to get them out, but the ground's been so soft, we just have to pick our times, get out there early in the morning before the ground has a thaw in it. But we'll get them. We'll get them out of there. And anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Some people wanted me to give a little info about what the mushrooms were doing, and yeah, this is where it's at. So everyone have a good one, and we'll see you next time down the road. And those of y'all new to the channel, hit that subscribe button on that. I'd appreciate it. Take care.